Hi there, welcome to Sustain Global. I hope you're doing really well. Today we are taking sort of a different direction and we are talking about the law. Now, it's really important to have basic knowledge about law, especially in this day and age where almost everything seems to be against the law and ignorance is no longer bliss. So today we are going to talk about defamation and basically its definition, how to know or how to spot, how to prove, how to prosecute, and what the process of trial and verdict is. So moving straight away into defining, which is the first step, of course. Defamation is an action of injuring a person's reputation. Okay? And the word defamation is actually synonymous with character assassination or bad-mouthing. Now, I've used the word bad-mouthing just to make it more understandable, or say character assassination, because reputation also has its own definition. Defamation is often measured on the nature of impact. Hence, most victims are usually famous individuals in the society. Now, you need to note two words that actually came up in the definition, and the first word is reputation. The second word is character. Now, reputation actually refers to a general estimation with which a person is held, or in layman's language, how people, how society, or how the world views a person. So if a person is viewed or held really high, that person's reputation is high. And so any cases of defamation against them injures their reputation or affects how people or how the society or how the world will view them from there henceforth. The second word was character, which on the other hand is a blanket statement for both, or a blanket word for both disposition and reputation. Okay? Now here comes another word, which is disposition. And I'm gonna define disposition because disposition is actually refers to the inherent qualities of a person. For example, if a person is humble, if a person is a philanthropist, if a person is kind, and for someone to claim that such a person was mean, harsh, or abusive without actual evidence, such accusations will affect the reputation of the person, hence amounts to defamation. Moving on, character encompasses the two words, which is disposition and reputation. Thus, the character affects the credibility of a witness. Okay? So, it's vice versa for the person being accused and the person who is accusing, or the witnesses to a particular case. So when it comes to question of character, if your character is well known as, say you're well known as a good person, and somebody is trying to say that you are not a good person, if that person cannot prove that you are not a good person, then they have defamed you, and they have to correct those changes, or they have to compensate for those changes, damages. Just as I said, defamation actually tarnishes a person's image, in brackets, reputation and disposition, which also stands for character. And the word reputation and disposition are often used interchangeably, such that they are used as though they mean the same thing. Okay? The cases of defamation often occur in competitive situations. For example, when people are trying to get something, you understand, like competitive situations. For example, in the event of job promotions, when people are seeking job promotions, and the one is trying to eliminate the other so that they can get that position, they will probably come up with false or actually truthful negative things about the other person, their opponent. The second situation is, I'm just mentioning common situations, job promotions, politics, and when it comes to sharing property or who takes the highest stake of what. These are instances when we see defamation happening. Now, the causes can be, I'm also mentioning the 3 top or common causes of defamation, or why does it occur, is because maybe the person is angry, the person is seeking to revenge over what was done against them, or just generally ill will against you. Okay, so yes, defamation is actually a crime in both civil and criminal cases, and it constitutes a tort. If you know what a tort is, if you don't know, you can Google it. T-O-R-T. Defamation constitutes a tort. So when do you prosecute? Okay, we have 2 instances upon which you can prosecute charges of, or when it comes to defamation, you prosecute when I say prosecute is when do you sue? When do you sue and actually seek for somebody to be taken to court? Like, when do you prosecute? Is one, when you determine, or upon determination of the mental element of the crime, you have to have full determination that the person making these allegations against you is actually mentally fit, mentally okay during that time when they made those sentiments. 2 is upon determination that the allegations are false, or when the defamer cannot prove their claims. Okay? Because there's a difference, because if these people are actually making truthful sentiments against you, and they actually go ahead during trial to prove that it is true that this and this happened, it will no longer amount to defamation. However, if those sentiments or allegations are false, or the defamer cannot prove, then you can prosecute them for defamation. Now, not a good example, but one example that can help you understand defamation more is actually the current case of 2 American celebrities that has been so much on this. People are talking about it, everyone is trying to understand what is going on, and this is a defamation case of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Now, Johnny Depp is a renowned American producer, actor, and he just has so many things that he does, as well as Amber Heard, who Johnny Depp is actually suing Amber Heard for defamation of Amber Heard's allegations of domestic violence against Johnny Depp. Okay, I hope I've worded it correctly so that you understand. Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard because Amber Heard made allegations that Johnny Depp was domestically abusing her during their one year long marriage between 2015 and 2016, when Amber Heard filed for divorce. Now, the twist here is that Amber Heard originally alleged that Johnny abused her. When it came to the trial, when it came to the case, Johnny Depp also alleged that Amber Heard actually abused her. So, the trial is going on. I don't want to say so much about it, but the trial is going on. And those are some of the facts that are coming up. And Johnny Depp has or had a stronger public image compared to his ex-wife, who is actually over 20 years younger than him. And I mean, this one has a twist because it has to do with domestic violence, which is actually a sensitive topic. And when it comes to domestic violence and such a case of defamation, especially because now the guy is suing the lady, it becomes difficult because social issues play in. Even if justice is done at the court, I feel like there will be so much effect and impact done socially. I mean, and that is why the whole thing of defamation comes in, right? Because as much as somebody you may be done justice, or everything may be proven to be wrong, it's almost as if you cannot get back the image that you had before the defamation occurred, right? And this is when now we talk about compensation after the trial and the verdict. So most of the time, how do I say? The defendant will need to pay for the damages. And they can actually do this through financial payment, like actual payment through a fine, or serve a jail term or probation, and which may actually include them issuing a public apology or a public declaration to, help the person get back their character, which they lost when you defamed them. Okay? I hope that sort of gave you an understanding of defamation, and that is it. Tell me down below in the comment section how you like this sentiment of understanding law, because I'm actually interested in this area, and I am open and free and available to give more information, more detailed information and basics about the law, things that people normally ignore. For example, hate speech. Hate speech it plays into defamation, and these are things that really happen day to day in the society. So if you're interested in understanding more about the law, comment down below, and I will be sure to respond, and I'll be sure to film more episodes on the same.